Alright, let's see if this goes any better. I decreased the resolution to 720. See if I can at least get on my device to prioritize the output. Let's see. Yeah, let's see if it's any better. I know it's going to be a bandwidth hog, but you know, the like the giveaway stream works so well, but I use StreamYard for those, and this one I'm using a open source tool, so I'm just trying to see see if I can improve the situation. So yeah, it's dropping a lot of frames. Well, we'll give it a shot. We'll see if you start seeing issues. I'm curious. Alright, so anyhow, I gotta see what I'm doing now. Got rabbit fur flying around. That's what we're gonna be tying on here today. It's a little goofy too. Let's see here. I'm going to ramp this back up here. Laggy? Nah. I don't know if I can change settings on the fly, but let me try. Stream settings, output, let me. May have just hosed it. I think I just killed my software right there. Yep. Oh, now it came back. Henry, let me know if that's any better. I to a lower rate, so it might actually pick up a bit here. Not sure though. All right. Ooh, stuff does not want to wrap very nicely. I probably need to pull some of this hair through the where it's tied up over here. There we go. With every turn of this, I need to be fluffing this hair because it is just locking up on me. There we go. There's even more to come through that than I thought. That's the stuff. Now we're getting there. I normally tie these in olive. Is okay for now. Alright, well that's good. I normally tie these in olive, but I'm going to give a black one a go because it kind of looks like a woolly bugger. And I'm sure there's no short. Yeah, that's starting to look like much better right there. Alright, so get this wrapped up. It's looking good. I mean, these things, once you get them in the water, they look kind of like a wet dog. So they can look good like this when they're dry, but it's when they're wet that you really see how they are. All right, so let's see if I can get this thing tied up. All right, let's get that going. These bead heads kind of they don't really sit all that great on there. I'm gonna try that again. Get this unwound. This is a mess here. Thing's slipping way too much. So it drives me crazy. I gotta get this hook held in place better. Oh, there we go. That's better. That slipping isn't helping me at all. So I gotta undo this. I haven't tied one of these in a few months, so bear with me here. Alright, gonna go back. Hit the undo button. I don't know if you're still with me or not, but I gotta get this cinched down a lot tighter than it was. There we go. What do you mean, Henry? Fish with it after? This is the trick, is loosening this fur from underneath the here so that it looks more natural when you tie it up. Because you kind of want to just have the hide tied up. Gotta feed my thread back up to where I'm going to tie it off after I wrap it. That can sometimes be a trick too. Alright, and then we start wrapping it. This is where it gets really fun. Oh no, I'm not gonna go fishing today. I should, but I'm that'd be awesome. For one, I probably don't have any signal over at the stream to actually live stream me catching a fish. But also, just because I'm not feeling it, I'll have to save this for a later day. Just gotta get this wrapped up. This is what makes it hard, just because there's this fur everywhere. Alright, I'm going to cut this now. Way easier to do my turns once that's cut. Starting to look good though. How's the focus? Is it okay, Henry? This is what's called a whip finisher. Sometimes I do stuff repeatedly here just to make sure it's not gonna hose me up. I'd rather things be double knotted than not. Cool. Yep. All right, so that's the first one. Theoretically, they should only get easier, right? The problem is these things are so heavy, and what I tend to do is I have this when I'm fishing these. I have some tungsten mud, and I'll put the tungsten mud inside that cone so it's so loose, and that gives it a little bit of additional weight as well. But when I do that, I find I hook up with the bottom quite a bit, and then that's why I lose a lot of these, I think, is because I'm hitting rocks and trees and things like that. So yeah, might probably do another one of those though now. So see, I tighten this thing so hard. Not a bad thing, but I do get plenty of interest from the fish, which is good. So I know it's not just because they don't look all that great. I mean, that one turned out okay, but even if they don't turn out very good looking, the fish don't seem to mind, you know. How's the stream, Henry? Is it still laggy or is it doing okay? Is that a or is that something else? Hear my kids in the. I always forget to put the stinking bead head on. Yo, Henry and Henry. Henry Vine got his prize from the giveaway and posted that. And that was pretty cool. He got I had to figure out how to print out a metal art print in Canada and have it shipped to him. And then as I'm trying to watch the tracking information, the funny thing was that it ended up shipping from New York. And I'm going, oh great, are they going to charge customs for this? But the good news is they didn't, and it all ended up working out just fine. But I was kind of freaking out a little bit about that. But I think they left it on Henry Vine's porch without any customs fees, so it worked out the way we intended. Giant leeches, Henry. I hope it's good looking. This is what we're tying. I already did one. I'm trying to keep it in focus here. Bead-headed leeches. They do really well here. I fish them like a streamer, and the fish see them and they can't resist them. So at least the trout. And so we're gonna keep at it here. I'm gonna probably do a few more and then try to remember how I was doing this back when I was doing it more. That's one of the things, like I'll tie flies and I'll do a bunch of them and then I won't for a long time. And so I kind of forget some of the ins and outs that I pick up because there's so much time between when I last tied them and when I'm currently tying them. So it's kind of no fun that way. But even this one, like I got the hair pulled forward better, so I can tie this off much better. No customs fees. That's awesome. I've seen the original photo, so Henry Vine posting it, I go, oh, it doesn't look as good a resolution as what I'm used to seeing. So I was really worried that it might not be as good a quality as it should be. But if he says it's good, I trust him. So. All right, we got this all squared. And then we're going to go stem here all the way to the top. And we'll kind of hold this in place as we wrap this around. And we're going to, when we wrap this, we try to keep the fur out so that it kind of spirals out, which is fun. And then talking about art, what you're tying now is a work of art? Well, it'll look like a drowned rat once it hits the water, but if you say so. It is pretty funny when you see them out of the water versus in the water. But the fur in the water, it lends itself to, it presents itself as like it's in motion and things like that. So it works out really well, but they do kind of look funny how much they change drastically from when they're dry and fluffy to when they're wet and saturated, I guess. So let's see if we can get this cut. And we'll tie it again. Get this tied down. Always good to have a few extra of these in my fly box because I usually lose multiples. So trying to get this, there's a piece of leather sticking up, but you know what, it really doesn't matter because they're not even going to notice. This one's a little shorter than the last one, which I'm not even sure where I set the last one now that I'm looking. Oh, there it is. It's over there. Yeah, this one, the fur was sticking out a lot longer, but again, really matters. Some fish will find it interesting, and camera's moving on me here, or my table, my benches. Gotta recenter that. So. All right, another one bites the dust. Alright, let's see. I've lost it yet again. No idea where I'm putting these flies. Yo. Yo, Josh, how you doing, man? It is some clear water, that's for sure. I do my best to make him look good, but you know, at the end of the day, trout aren't exactly rocket scientists either, you know. Especially the ones up at that pond where you and I were fishing. I think you can fool those guys pretty easy. And this is kind of just a little trial to see if we can get the live stream working correctly, because I was having a few issues with bandwidth, but we're just kind of testing the waters here. See if we can just have some fun. Otherwise, it can get a little boring when you're tying flies by yourself, to be honest. Being able to open my mouth makes it a little less tedious, I guess. Well, it's probably my end. I started this while everybody was gone, and we have to lower the bit rate even further. I don't want to sacrifice too much quality, but at the same time, if I can't stream at all, then what's the point? Right? But I'll let I'm curious if the other two Henrys are having an issue or not. But you never know what's happening once my wife gets home and starts streaming or getting on a meeting or something like that. There goes the rest of my bandwidth, you know. And we don't have a lot of options. A little lag. Yeah, I'm blaming my wife now. We don't have the best bandwidth out here where we live, but yeah, there's me. I'm going to give myself priority here. That should help things. At least now I can get to that. Alright, let's see if it gets better. I've now given myself priority. Let me know if it gets a little bit better, because theoretically it should. But you just never know. Did you guys get out and do some fishing over the over the weekend, I hope. And we all know Henry was just killing him. But I don't know if that was over the weekend or not, I should say. Alright, that worked better? Alright, good to know. That's the great thing about being the network administrator of my home network, is that I can prioritize me above everybody else. Just came back from a striper trip, and that must be the one where I saw that. So was that it? Did you say Cape Cod? I think I saw. Because is that where you saw the whale? Because that whale was awesome. I've only seen whales once in my life, and it was epic. So I thought it was really cool that you saw that. If your wife comes in and thumps your head because you took the internet, you'll have to adjust the camera so you can watch the fight. She wouldn't notice, to be honest. She'd just be like, the internet's not working. The more I do of these, she might start to catch on and object. But she's not really one to like stream TV and stuff like that, so. But she does get on a lot of work meetings and things like that, so that might become a factor. Just gonna cinch the snot out of that. That one looks a little bit better. Got a longer tail on it. That middle one, I don't even know where I put it. But that middle one is oh, they fell on the floor. No wonder I couldn't find them. The middle one's gonna be a short leech. Yeah, this one didn't turn out quite as good. I thought I had it extending past a little bit more, but not so much. But again, you practice, you learn. This one's about the same as this one, so I like that. Alright, then we're going to whip finish. It's nice to catch up with you guys. And I appreciate you guys being guinea pigs for this, because it's just kind of fun to... Again, it's fun to talk to somebody while I'm doing something kind of mundane. Alright. There we go. More in focus now. It's hard because the vise moves around and this camera is so fine-tuned for where it's pointing. Well, in your line of work, I don't know how many online meetings there are, you know. Uh-oh. The stream stopped? Well, let me see what I can do about that. Let me pause this for a second. Come back to you at all? Oh, it's back. Okay. Good, good, good. I'm getting it all on the desktop. Oh, that's good. I turned the camera off briefly and restarted it, and hopefully that helps. It's going in my computer, but has stopped on my phone. Yeah, I'll probably just do one more of these or so. Maybe I'll switch and do a different color. Because I got 3 black ones now. Typically I've been fishing the olive one, so. And there may be better software I can use for this too, but I know StreamYard has its limits. They limit you to how much you can stream before you got to get a paid plan, and I think it's stupid to pay money for something that you can do without paying money for it. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to get this to work, but I probably should I'll look up some optimizations I might be able to do for lower bandwidth and see if that helps at all. So nice thing is Henry's got me on speed dial to let me know when the stream stops working. So all right, well, and so I'm keeping my phone below the bench here. Make sure that we're still working. So what am I doing here? Get this worked up to the hook. Alright, we're going to try an olive green one now. I'm leaving the black thread, but it's kind of what they say to do, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. So, about that. Though I think it does look better with olive thread, to be honest. I think that's what I did on the other ones, but again, I don't think the fish are going to be too picky. Though you can see the goof ups a lot more when you're using thread that contrasts with your fur. Where's my... What on earth? Did I drop me? There's a tool I'm looking for that I can't seem to find. Did I drop it? Did I set it down somewhere? It's alright, I'll use this. Just want to make sure I get all that hair free of the wraps of the thread here. Sending that back up. Working fine now. I'm anxious to see you use it on your next outing. I've used these the last. Well, that one where I caught the sucker. I think I caught. This is what I caught it on. Which, again, I kind of fouled that sucker, but these hooks are ridiculously sharp, so that doesn't surprise me. I think those things have some pretty thick scales, but these hooks are really sharp, so not a surprise to me that I was able to get through it. But yeah, I think it was one of these flies that I got that sucker on, so kind of crazy. It is a little bit easier to see what I'm doing with this lighter fur, though. This is actually rabbit fur, so it's little strips of rabbit, or like really thin strips of rabbit fur, and they dye it and all that stuff, but they call them zonker strips. But they seem to do the trick. I don't come up with these designs or anything. I'm just following a recipe. Yeah, and the reason I started using these more Henry Vine was I really noticed that the fish in that stream where I go, they really like jerk baits and the bigger terrestrial lures, it seems. So I tend to tie some bigger flies because I know that they do tend to go for bigger bait at times. So sometimes when they're not going for the smaller flies, it's like, okay, well, let's try something that'll really entice them, you know. And as the water warms up, that should get better and better. But you just never know. Alright, I'm going to try to cut this nice. I'm kind of on the blind side here, cutting it. Yeah, see, that looks pretty good, I think. I don't know if you can tell, but it looks good to me. Have I used other furs? Not for this, I haven't. I got a whole mess of, you know, feathers and hackle and, you know, stuff for tying the different flies. But, and like there's synthetic furs and things like that. And there's foam. Like I use foam for grasshoppers, but as far as fur goes on this lure, this is pretty much what it's limited to. This one actually turned out really nice. I'm really happy with that. It's looking cool. If we planned it and I flew up there, would you have time to pick me up at the airport, take me fishing, then drop me off at the airport? Yeah, if we plan it. You just tell me when. I'll gladly pick you up from the airport. I don't know if you're being funny or serious, but I don't think you're one to joke around about fishing, Josh, so. Oh gosh, I'm off the track here. Yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. Yeah, call me. Okay, call me then. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right. I think I'm going to tie another one of these green ones, and then I'll probably call it a night. Appreciate you guys taking the time to stop by and help me test out streaming these. I'm actually making good progress here, so I got 4 of them tied. That's 4 more than I always feel like it takes forever when I'm doing it, but again, when I once I get moving, then it's not so bad at all. I'm probably going to run out of parts here soon. I've only got 5 cone heads left and probably 5 or 6 hooks. So I might have to get some more supplies. Especially because I tend to tie more flies. Oh, so in case you guys don't know, and I can fill in the gaps for Josh since it's easier for me to speak than for him to type. Josh is from Oklahoma. I almost messed that up. And he started out doing duck hunting and fishing on his YouTube. And then occasionally he'd hunt squirrels and things like that. And I always forget to put the bead on before I put the hook in the vise. Darn it. But his channel really blew up from his archery hunting stuff. So he does a lot of slingshots and pistol crossbows and doing like fishing with those. And he's had a lot of interest in his channel from people who really dig that stuff. And so he's actually done quite well for himself on his main channel, and then he branched out and did some he has a second channel now, Water Swatters Fishing, which I think he's got the watch time, he just needs some subscribers, so consider subscribing to his channel. But he's got some pretty cool content when you see it. I remember him when he was a little guy like the rest of us, but he really blew up. His channel really did. And it's because he's got a good personality on camera too. He really has fun when he's doing his stuff. And he came fishing with me. We went up to one of my favorite alpine lakes, and he ventured over to Colorado from Oklahoma. Took a wrong turn somewhere. I forget where it was. And but he made it here, and we went up there fishing. And I told him there was we were trying to figure out which day to go, and then there was supposed to be some really bad storms. And so I told him, let's hold off and go a different day, because the place we were going is so high up that if a lightning storm comes through, you're pretty much toast. So we did, and we waited a day, I think a day later than we were planning on. And he got to go up, I think as high as he'd ever been on land. And then we caught a bunch of fish. He kept his. I'm more of a catch and release guy. I think if I didn't have to go out and catch these fish on video again, I probably wouldn't be as much of a catch and release guy. But they're not hurting up where we caught them. They're almost too thick in that pond. So he kept his, and I think he drove back to Oklahoma later that, I don't know if it was the same day or the next day, and fried him up and had it on a video like a few days later. So he's a catch and eat kind of guy, catch and cook. And yeah, we had a good time though, and he got to see some pretty cool views up high there. It's once you get up in the high country, it just gives you a different perspective on things, you know. Did I lose you guys again? Oh, good. Henry Vine, or Henry, gosh. Yep, so, yeah, so, that hike up there, Josh and I got to talk a lot and got to know each other better, and, you make good friends with people when you're fishing and when you're hiking like that, and you got nothing else to do but chit chat, so. Yep, so good times for sure. And his daughter is his cameraman, or camera woman, I should say. And she made it up there in like jeans and sneakers, hiking up to this high alpine country, And that was pretty cool. And I I just kept thinking she was going to be like, what kind of adventure did my dad drag me on this time, But she's a trooper. And I think she was pretty beat after that day. That's and rightfully so. I'm checking out. All right, Henry Vine. Good talking to you, man. And thanks for stopping in. Have a good night. We'll catch you later. We'll do this again sometime too. This isn't the first, assuming I can get the stream to stay stable. So. We'll learn as we go. Thanks again, man. Trying to get this last one cinched down pretty good. I'll tie it off. And next time I'll probably do some pig stickers, because those are, they're kind of a pain to tie. The ones that are a pain to tie are usually the ones that work the best, right? But there's just, because you got it's when you're wrapping like 20 things around a fly that it really becomes a pain, because you gotta keep track of all these different things and move out of the way and blah blah blah. But yeah, this one's doing all right, so yeah, this one looks good too. I think that turned out really good. Still in focus, a little bit out of focus. So the light's kind of playing tricks. I got to get a better light for this too. Because it needs to be lit from this side, It's not bad, it's just could be better. Alright, time to whip finish this guy. Alright. I do think this whip finisher tool, I mean, if you don't have this, you're supposed to make a lot of loops and just keep knotting it. But this makes it so much easier, because you wrap it. I don't know if you can see it because everything's so in focus on the lure itself, but you get it all set up, then you bring your line over. I'll try to do it on this side so you can see, and then you're just wrapping it around. See, and then you pop it off that little knob, and then you do that, and it's good to go. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, so that's it for tonight. Okay. My kids are letting me know that there's a bug in the house. They want me to get the bug assault and shoot it, so I'm probably going to go do that. But thanks, guys, for stopping in. That's the last one for tonight. I might have to make a thumbnail of that or something. Let me see. I don't know if I can get the right contrast. I'm trying to see. Yeah, it is hard to keep it in focus. Just because I'm moving this little vise around and I'm on a shaky table in front of where the camera's sitting. But yeah, that looks pretty good. So anyhow, got a few flies knocked out, and I got to talk to you guys while I was at it. So thanks again, and we'll do this again sometime. All right, later, guys.